Hello, I'm Dr. Premula Raman, former professor, Department of Sociology, Theresian College, Mysore, which is affiliated to the University of Mysore. And I'm also very strongly associated with Aadsum, which is the alumni association of the Department of Sociology, University of Mysore. Uh, in this video, I'm continuing the series on Auguste Comte. In the first two videos, I spoken about the early life of Comte and his important contribution, the law of three stages. And in the second video, I dwelt upon Comte and positivism. In this video, I am talking about Comte's classification of sciences, or also popularly known as Comte's hierarchy of sciences. Uh, Before I begin, it will be pertinent to know why Comte took upon this task of classifying knowledge as it prevailed during his times. Primarily, European society was undergoing tremendous changes when Comte was living, and those changes had brought about unimaginable modifications in lifestyles of people. For the first time, industrialization was occurring, urbanization was taking place, people were migrating uh, to towns and cities, different types of jobs were getting created, and along with these factors, new ideas such as liberalism, democracy, and the decline of the monarchy, all these developments were taking place. But there wasn't a science that would focus on these modifications and these phenomena. And therefore, Comte was always advocating the need for a new discipline, which he said would be focusing on the study of the social phenomena of society. So it was in this background that he tried to establish the link between sociology and the prevailing sciences of his days. And that's how we get his analysis of the hierarchy of sciences. But we must also know that Comte was not the first person to talk about these classifications of knowledge. If we look back, there were other philosophers as well uh, who focused on this issue even before Comte. So, tracing out how these developments took place, we find that uh, attempts to classify sciences was undertaken even prior to Comte, but Comte was responsible for taking up this task in the 19th century. Prior to him, there were philosophers like Plato, who was one of the earliest, who reflected about sciences, and his reflection about sciences was one of the major aspects of philosophy. The early Greeks classified knowledge into three categories, namely, first, physics, second, ethics, and third, politics. Later on, Bacon classified sciences by using a different criteria. He used the criteria of human faculties, and according to him, sciences could be classified into three categories on the basis of human faculties, namely, first, memory, second, imagination, and third, reasoning. Comte used a different criteria. He used the criteria of the law of increasing complexity and decreasing generality to classify sciences. While examining the growth of several sciences, Comte said, the emergence of different subjects seeking knowledge about the world followed a particular pattern, which was based on what pattern of life humankind wanted to understand as they gradually evolved. So it depended on what branch of knowledge people were curious to know. And that's how different disciplines were evolved. During his time, uh, the scientific approach had been successfully applied to the study and understanding of biological life, and therefore Comte said that it was time to divert attention of the scientific method to the study of the human society. While using the scientific methods in the study of sociology, Comte opined that it was possible to arrange the branches of knowledge or the disciplines on the basis of their historical emergence or development. The criteria that were used by Comte were different. He used the following criteria. One, the order of the historical emergence and development of different sciences. Second, the order of their dependence on each other. Third, their decreasing generality and increasing degree of complexity of their subject matter. And fourth, the increasing degree of modifiability of the facts that they studied. Based on these criteria, the first subject to emerge, according to Comte, was mathematics, followed by astronomy, followed by chemistry, physics, biology, and sociology. This hierarchy of sciences demonstrated certain aspects. So, if you look at the hierarchy, at the base is mathematics, followed by astronomy, followed by chemistry, followed by physics, then biology, and at the apex is sociology. Based on the principles of increasing complexity and decreasing generality and increasing dependence, Comte had presented this hierarchy of sciences. In this hierarchy, the most simple science is at the base. And as we move from the bottom to the top of the hierarchy, that is, from mathematics to astronomy, physics, chemistry, biology, sociology, we find decreasing generality. We also find increasing complexity as we move in the hierarchy of sciences from the base to the top, that is from mathematics to sociology, there is an increasing degree of complexity. There is also the evidence of increasing dependency among the sciences as we move in the hierarchy of the sciences. There is this transition of simple to complex. Again, when we move from the base to the top. In the movement from mathematics to sociology, generality decreases and complexity and dependency increases. Therefore, the evolution of sciences have taken place from mathematics to sociology, and sciences which are most simple and general were the ones which developed first, and they were followed by others. In the emergence of various disciplines, Kant says, in the order he gave, he maintains that each subject's birth is based in the previous subject and that each subject prepares the way for the one that follows it. Each science depends upon its former science for its emergence, marked by increasing complexity and decreasing generality. Therefore, Comte says Astronomy depends on mathematics, physics depends on astronomy, chemistry depends on physics, biology depends on chemistry, and sociology depends on biology to understand their subject matter better. There is also differences in the modifiability in facts in sciences while we move from the base to the apex. More complex the sciences, more will its facts be modifiable. Simple sciences pertains to facts which are concrete and definite. Comte's hierarchy of sciences is his second best known theory, and this theory is intimately connected with his theory of law of three stages. According to Comte, just as the history of the world passes through three stages, the theological, the metaphysical, and the positive, all branches of knowledge also passes through these three stages. Some sciences have passed through the first and the second stage and have already reached the third stage, namely the positive stage. Any science reaches the positive stage, according to Comte, depending on its simplicity and interdependence on other sciences. Sciences which are more general, simple, and less dependent reach the positive stage first, followed by others. Social sciences, the most complex and the most dependent, are at the hierarchy. Mathematics, astronomy, physics, chemistry, and biology have reached the positive stage. Sociology has to reach the positive stage, and it is believed to be in the metaphysical stage. Comte wrote about this hierarchy of sciences in the year 1854 in his System of Positive Polity. The law of classification of sciences has withstood the test of time much better than the law of three stages. It is still popular even today. According to Comte, each science did not come into being by chance, but to find out facts which people had encountered, which could not be explained by the already existing sciences. In order to understand the new conditions, new methods were also needed. This was what Comte said. He also stressed that each science had its own independent sphere of study. He insisted that each science should have the freedom to develop methods appropriate to its subject matter. Therefore, he did not believe in the existence of one scientific method which would be appropriate for all the sciences, but wanted disciplines to develop their independent scientific methods. For example, sociology has its unique methods of scientific inquiry, such as scientific imagining, questionnaires, interviews, sociometry, case studies, and sampling. Comte had coined the word social philosophy first for this discipline in the year 1839, but the term was used by another scholar, and brilliant as he was, he coined a new word, sociology, which has come to stay. The purpose of showing the hierarchy of sciences by Comte was to establish the relationship between sociology and other natural sciences. He was very far-sighted and he did his utmost to justify the need for the discipline of sociology and the acceptance of a new social science in the realm of knowledge that was prevailing in his times. He also undertook this classification of sciences to show the historical unity of sciences. It was also undertaken to prepare the background for sociology and other sciences. Comte spoke of sociology as the crowning edifice of the hierarchy of sciences. He did not mean that it was superior to other sciences, but he wanted to show that all sciences could be brought together closely. This was his analysis of the hierarchy of sciences and how sociology emerged due to the necessities of understanding new areas which human beings wanted to know due to changing conditions of life and society all over the world. Now, the sources for all these three modules, the first, the second, and the third, that I have spoken on, different aspects of Comte's contributions, have been Modern Sociological Theory by G. Ritzer, Encyclopedia of Social Theory, again by G. Ritzer, Modern Reconstruction of Classical Thought by Talcott Parson, Masters of Sociological Thought by Louis Corser, and Main Currents in Sociological Thought by Raymond Aron. I hope I was able to put forth my ideas in a simple manner. And with this, I have concluded the three modules that I was supposed to present on August Comte. I hope you liked it. Thank you once again.